I could see. Hey guys, welcome to the Money Magic series. I was just saying, I could see that Mmatsie and I were going to the juicy part around ease. So I wanted us not to put that off the recording. So if you've just joined, my name is Mangile Makwakwa, and I am the host of the Money Magic series. I am the founder of Wealth in Money, where I teach people heal ancestral money trauma from Money Magic students on the experience around money, money trauma, their money shifts. And my guest today is Mmatsie. Hi, Mmatsie.
Hi, Ben. Hi, Ben's tribe. How are you?
Otherwise known as the wealthy ones and the money magicians.
I'm good. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. So, who are you? What do you do? Tell us. We're excited to hear.
Ben, that is a question for the interview. Tell us about you. My name is Mmatsie Mooki. I'm from Tabanchu in the Free State. I work in Gauteng. I'm a lawyer by training, but currently my permanent job, I train lawyers. I'm a law lecturer. So I'm the one who's training future lawyers that you will meet sometimes. I've trained many. I've been in the space for 15 years.
Wow.
Of course.
Wow. So, do you train corporate lawyers, criminal lawyers? I'm just asking for myself. You never know, one day one might need a different type of lawyer to a conveyancing attorney.
I'll tell you, my calling is very boring. I'm more into practical stuff. I'm international human rights lawyer. So anything that has to do with violation of human rights in international, regional, domestic law, but I'm more interested in issues of reproductive and sexual health. That's my area of specialty. Issues of gender and the law, but I'm also into local government and land. So that is my area.
Wow.
But I used to do delict, I used to do criminal law, I used to do constitutional law. But now my niche is international human rights law. But anything that has to do with gender, health, reproductive health, sexual health, all those issues, that's my area.
I am in awe. That is so not boring. That is like so important.
It's practical for me. I've worked with a number of NGOs in South Africa, in other SADC areas, in East Africa. So that is what I've been doing. And I always regard my work as a calling because I'm more into seeing, I don't like injustices. So yeah, I'm more into saving people who are suffering injustices, especially women and children.
Yeah.
That's my specialization, Ben.
Amazing. This is absolutely incredible. I am blown away. This to me is the opposite of boring. It is the most important topic. It is, as you said, practical, so necessary. And I think every woman can resonate with this because reproductive rights, that's literally it,
It is what I love most. And I remember a few years ago, when was it, 2008, we're doing cases for women who were forcefully sterilized in SADC. I have loved reproductive health. But I'm more now into academia teaching, but I also do a whole lot of NGO training and advisory.
Yes. Wow. This is incredible. Mmatsie, you are incredible. See, this is why when Wazi is in the student group and asking you guys to please share, make yourself more visible, and we have that thread, I really, really want to challenge you this week to go and share this because this is so powerful. And just that for us to know that you train lawyers, some of us are listening in on this and someone's like, maybe she knows a labor lawyer. Maybe she knows this lawyer. Maybe I can reach out to her. That is amazing. Wow.
I know all types of lawyers. They are my friends. So,
guys,
whenever you need referrals, I'm the go-to guy. We want to register property, shout, I'll refer. Labor, shout, I'll refer. I've got a number of mentees that are doing, they're very great. They're doing wonderful things. They're more famous than I am.
Wow. Yes. Wow. Okay. There's actually a Money Magic student that I have to refer to you because she asked me if we knew any labor lawyers. Hi, well, like now I'm just going to connect you guys. This is incredible. Look at this.
Oh, let me switch off my phone. Sorry. Let me switch off my phone. I forgot. I'm here. How do I switch off? Okay, let me just put it on airplane. Right.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so what does money mean to you? If an alien arrived today and said, what is money? How would you explain it to them?
Before 2017, I will say something else. Now,
what happened in 2017? What happened to you in 2017?
2 September 2017. I will never, ever in my entire life forget that day and God bless Lebupule. 2 September 2017. Yeah, things happen. I met Vanjile. I was reminding Mizo that when we were leaving, actually I will look at the pictures and I will laugh hard. When we were leaving at the Apartheid Museum, Mizo said, hey, I don't know where I parked my car because I'm so dizzy. Inside the room, I think I hold it together, man. I was okay. Outside, I was like, what happened? This is witchcraft. Me, my life is perfect. My life is okay. So before then, I wouldn't know how to define money. It was money. It's here. It's not here. It will bring some sort of anxiety at times anger, at times frustration, a number of things.
Yeah.
But you asked me if I were to describe money to an alien, what am I going to say? Money is a close friend to Mmatsie. Money is a lover. Money is a partner. Money is my confidant. I don't care who says what. Me and money are emotionally connected. Like, money is my friend. At work, they say, hey, when I write the way you love money. And I'm like, of course, I do love money.
Of course.
I speak about money. I'm not shy. Obviously, there are in certain sectors where people will think, are you bluffing or what's happening? But I've learned. I will just check the space, and if I'm in a circle where people are scared to talk, I'm also not talking. But if you ask me, my eyes just light up. Like, money is my friend. I remember the other day I was listening to Kanyimbawu. Kanyimbawu was being interviewed by Annelem daughter. But that was after I met you, I think. And then he said, money recognizes me. Money is comfortable with me. When we are in a room, money can just point at me and say, come, let's have a conversation. And I believe that I'm in that space. I'm in that space when, I shared with people, was it 3 weeks ago or so? I said, I've just, I'm even specific. Initially, I wouldn't even talk about amounts. I said in a group that, you know what, I've just fetched 50,000. This is what I'm going to do about it. I wanted to pay my fees. I'm a PhD student at UCT. So that's what I said. That money is meant for this particular debt that I have. And then I said to you, next week or 2 weeks' time, I'm going to fetch another one. And I'm waiting for the results. I'm fetching my money on Thursday. I come back and report. It's my money is there. It's just waiting for me to come fetch. So me and money.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And thanks to you. Thanks to you.
I love it. I love it. Actually, I want us to talk about this story because for you, you actually have a very, very funny relationship with the work, right? When you started the money magic work, you were like witchcraft, but not in that way, right? Not in like, this is terrible. You were like, yo, something is happening, like money is finding me. What's going on?
It's witchcraft, it's magic. Those are scary words. Like, oh, then you don't know. You don't know, like, how to explain this. But money showed up, and I think, you know, I'm one of the people who are not active in the cause. And because I lost my mom.
You really are not. My condolences.
I lost my mom last year. My mom had been suffering from colon cancer. And then I actually even stopped the work. I was going through some ish, but I was also sorting some things. But I know where to go. Like I do my meditations, I read my lesson when and Upel was shouting at me, saying, but say you must contribute on the discussion because when we talk for hours. We'll talk for hours.
Yeah.
And he was like, but why? And I'm like, no, I'm slowly getting back. Then this is I want to show your people, this is my notebook. My money letters are here. My plans. I've got 3. The other one it's always in my bag. Like I know what to do. It's just that I'm not consistent, which is what I need to work on.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get to that as we go on. But money is Mmatsie's friend. Can we just stop there? Money is Mmatsie's partner. Nothing else.
I love it. I really, really love it. So, when did you start suspecting? Maybe it came before the Apartheid Museum, maybe on the day of the Apartheid Museum. When did you start suspecting that my relationship with money is a lot more than just my budget and what's going on in the bank? I know I triggered a lot of people on that day. People never forgot that day. I was on something for sure.
I think you were. And if they're saying it's superficial work, I don't know what to say. And honestly speaking, my money story started then.
Okay.
I was just okay. Now I was okay being okay with the bare minimum. You know, the bare minimum. I was never a broke person, and I was listening to you the other day talking about being at minus. I've really never been at minus, but I haven't actually. You know, when you are at a plus, you keep on growing. But I was always at the plus. There was no growth, and I was not bothered. I'm okay. I'm living. I was not thinking. I had only one alternative stream of income in addition to my permanent work. So I thought I was good. And then that day happened, 2 September, I realized then, like, it can't be. You can't be on +1 for 4 years. You don't get to +10. No, something is wrong. That was then. And then, you know, you dismiss certain things. I don't know this Bengele, and then, you know, now I went to Facebook, and then I Googled, and then just immediately then, the bank account challenge happened.
I remember that for you. That was the start of your many issues. You didn't know your issues were many.
I'm like, no, man. Then what is happening? Day 1. You know that thing? Look at your bank account. Just don't do anything 10 minutes and listen to it. I never paid attention to my breathing. I used to think it's normal. Even when we were saying that particular day, I will never. I've done several bank accounts challenges after that, but that one, that was the most definite. I showed up for the work every day. I did everything, and then just on the first day, and then I realized, man, but how I breathe is now different. Whatever. Second day, headaches. Right. At the beginning, like, there's witchcraft here. There's no way. I've been looking, like, we believe we're looking at our bank accounts, but we've been browsing. We browse. Funny enough, yesterday I had lunch with a friend. So we're speaking about spending because we're spending money. We had lunch. We haven't seen each other in a long time physically. So he was telling me, like, every time it's Friday, Saturday, he just goes on and lives his best life. It's like, Mmatsie, and then I asked, like in passing, like, okay, when you do your budget and then you see that for a weekend you have spent 7,000, it's like, Mmatsie, I don't look at my bank account. I don't. And then I even said, I wish you had told me last week because there's this challenge that we've been doing. But he's a guy. He says, no, I know, Mmatsie, I'll just die when I look. And then I used to do that browsing, like, oh, now I have 220. It will take me to, months. I'm fine. I have my stuff. So, things happened.
But we had Danny, who is a guy, Danny and Kanya. They were right in there during the challenge. Danny was sharing with us. So guys, do the challenge.
I'm saying, with guys, he just said to me, he's aware that every weekend he just gets careless with money. So he wasn't telling me, Mmatsie, I get 50,000. In a weekend, I can spend 15,000. And then I was asking myself, when you look at it, your bank statement, when you do your budgeting, it's like, why do I don't look at my bank? And then I'm like, my friend, you must come here too. Because with this one, I even printed, I heard you saying you had 2. I have 4 accounts for 4 different reasons. I looked at them and then I even checked, we're in lockdown when, right? And then there was no takeaway, no Uber Eats, no Mr. Delivery, so we're cooking. But the day they say now you could order, my problem started again. So as I was looking at this, like, Uber Eats, like, what did I do? What happened, guys? So I'm more aware now. So yes, everything started with the Apartheid Museum and then the bank account challenge. And then I realized that I could make money, but money will just disappear. And I wouldn't even, at the back of my mind say, no, this money, I invested it here and then there'll be emergencies, not my emergencies anyway. Other people's, like when money show up, somehow emergencies also show up. I'm not sure how this life thing works. You must tell us. Every time you think you have saved some money, something will come up. You wouldn't be hearing from anyone for a long time.
The money set point.
And then once now you have your 50,000 and you're thinking, no, now I can go to the village and buy something. Now you are told, hey, your brother here has these big problems. Or the house is leaking like. So I started looking at those things like, all right. And thanks to you, those things happen when we're doing the bank account challenge. Because I remember for 3 months in a row, I would check. Even like I love Woolies food. It's nice. I don't say we should deny ourselves beautiful things. But I could now tell, like, why am I going to Woolies to buy certain things? Sometimes you don't even eat them. Like, you're just passing. Because you're passing a shop and then so I was very, very, very conscious. I'm still very conscious. I don't deprive myself, but I'm able to notice. That's why I could notice, like, lockdown and when we started ordering food now, I wasted money on takeaways. Like,
yeah.
freedom.
And you've been living just fine without the takeaways. And in fact, your body probably was thanking you. But then like lockdown ends and then you go right back to it.
I stopped cooking. I think I was just, saying, hey, I've been cooking for so long. But then even when I looked at it, like, really? So I was doing calculation, like, how do you spend this much on Uber Eats in 3 weeks? It really didn't make sense. So I'm back there now when I'm assessing everything. But everything started then. That was the question.
Yeah, yeah. I love that you're speaking about that because what we're seeing is that there are ebbs and flows. Sometimes, like, we do the work and it's all good, and then, like, we continue, things are good, and then something happens and we go right back. And I also wanted to say so there's two things, right? First thing is when we have money, and then, like, suddenly it's almost like, I always say, it's almost like people can sense that, no, now you've got money. And then everybody starts messaging you and telling you about emergencies and things. And then now you're like, but how did you know? I just got this money and I've got it planned for things, etc. And people were living just fine without that, but they could just sense, but that day, this is the time to ask you, right? Because on a subconscious level, we all have a money set point. So we talk about this in the bank account challenge, right? That most of us have a money set point. If you want to know what your money set point is, look at your bank accounts, guys. Look at where you always go to, the number in your bank account. So mine, like Mmatsie says, it was always like negative. It's always overdraft, right? So then it became zero. Then it started growing, but you can shift that. But for most of us, it is so scary. There's a reason why we are at that set point, because our entire nervous system is feeling scared. So you'll find yourself like, even though I earn more, suddenly the side hustle has made me more money. Like I've got an extra 50,000 Rand, and now it's just sitting in my bank account. Something will happen for you to get rid of it. Someone comes with a business opportunity to die for. Someone comes with the story, this emergency, the geyser burst, because your subconscious mind is trying to keep you safe. So if it's not other people, it will create an emergency in your space. And you may find that suddenly your car breaks down. Your car was fine, but suddenly you are okay financially. Your car now has issues galore, now no end in sight. That is part of how we get rid of money, right? It's these emergencies, and it just takes us right back to the money set point. So as we start to heal various aspects of whatever is causing this, because for each of us, there's very many different reasons. I could take a guess and say it's because we're not safe with money. For other people, it could be a vow of loyalty, a vow of rebellion, a this or that. There are 1,000,001 different reasons why we all do this. So you have to do the work and figure out what your reason is. And as you start to heal that, you'll notice that there'll come days, even months will go by where there's just money chilling in your bank account. And then eventually a year, and nothing is coming up, nothing is happening. And you're just like, okay. Because now it's feeling safe, it's feeling okay. There's none of that drama anymore. So then this is how you start to surpass your money set point.
That's so true. People can just smell when there's something extra. If it's my own emergency, sometimes, I'm able to understand. But I think I've even come to a point where I would say no and not even feel bad. Like, I don't have. You wait until your month end, like initially, and that is actually even before I was doing it. Like I was over generous. That's the word. Like I will feel. Now I was telling somebody the other day, like, why are we scared of downgrading if things are not working financially? I've done that very early in my life where I downgraded. I would move from a 2-bedroom flat to a 1-bedroom flat because I wanted to save for a particular thing. But I've also realized that I'm able to see when people just want to live their best lives at our expense. And I just say, no, I don't have, which is something it took me years to say no to people. It took me years to say no.
Same. Very much so.
Because I'm doing the work, I used to I always say that to my sister, like I see my dad in me. My dad was just a giver. But I will even be proud and tell you that, no, as long as I'm helping people, even if I don't have food, I'm thinking. And you think that is being generous. Yeah, my dad was a very generous person. Very generous. He'll tell you that, no, even if myself, I don't have food, but this poor girl or this poor guy or this poor, whoever will need something. And then I said, sometimes I see myself in him, in how I was generous. I had a very generous father. And I also realized that was not generosity. If I knew the work, then I would have stopped.
It also was not, right?
It was not generosity.
And that's, but we really praise people like that in our culture. Actually, in all cultures, when I'm honest, we praise those people. They will give you the shirt off their back, so they'll stay freezing. That is so amazing. But then think about it, it's one of the things that I had to realize, and I realized it from my mother, right? She was so generous to the point where she gave everything to her family, right? When she now had kids, her kids didn't even have money for school fees. In my teens, my mom could barely even afford to buy us food. She gave and gave and gave. And then when she left her job because she didn't know how to say enough, then there was not even enough money to get us food through high school. My sister and I had to learn how to work, hustle, make things happen, etc. Because and here's the thing, I don't blame the family so much, but what it is that sometimes because we are so generous, we forget to look after ourselves. When the breadwinner ends up falling on hard times, because everybody else has been relying on them, they haven't had time to build themselves either. And then the one that has been building them has no more to give, right? Then everybody just collapses. Because my mother didn't take time to look after herself, put into her investments, figure all that out. It was always other people, right? So in the end, even when it came to the people that my sister and I, that she was trying, that she'd worked so hard for, and she wanted to give a better life to, she couldn't. She didn't have the resources and the means. So that is so, so important, is that is the danger of overgiving. That is not generosity. That's something else.
It is not, but also because, and I learned later in life, but shortly before I met you, that sometimes you are doing that because of how people have depicted you as a hero, as Mmatsie is such a lovely and kind person. And then we hold on to, that depiction. And then we're thinking, if I say no, Vangela is going to say no, I'm mean. 1. 2, if I say no, people would say, oh, now since he has achieved 1, 2, 3, she no longer has time for us. And those are things that we need to heal as society, to say, you have to, and there's a saying that you can't pour from an empty cup, and I think we always do. You give until you've got nothing to give. And what I've seen with life is, now when you don't have anything more to give, no one will be able to give you. You either suffer until the end, or until you are able to pick up yourself, because sometimes life is not, what is the word? We always say, if you give, you receive. But I've seen people who were givers, but when life gave them or dealt them a hard blow, the people that were given to have moved on, they wouldn't even care. And I've seen it with my father as well. And hey, my sister is going to kill me. My father was giving. He was a giving person. And then there comes a point in his life when he didn't have a job. What happens when we didn't have a job? We suffered. And then where were the people that he was always giving to? Nowhere to be found. In fact, family will always run away from you. So we'll sit there, my mom will make plans to make sure that we are okay. But I think it's one of those traumas that you have as you grow up, and then you like, because now I look back, because I also want to heal certain traumas to say, but where were these people? I remember we never had A, B, C, and D, and either my dad's siblings or family that he used to live for. They were there, they were working. They wouldn't even come to our house. They wouldn't even visit. They wouldn't even ask him, you guys, do you have A, B, C, and D? They would just keep quiet. And then I started showing him these things to like, you see now, you're struggling alone. And then that's why sometimes I see myself when I resemble him and I'm like, no, go away. I don't want to be like you. Leave me alone. And it's one of those things that that some of the traumas that I still have to work on and put some work on and heal, because they come and they go. Sometimes you believe you're okay and you have moved on, and then something triggers those memories. And those memories were actually triggered as well, with your work again. You see, now we are all over the place.
No, it's fine. It's fine. People understand.
That's what I'm saying. With your work, you would be thinking this and then you end up going to other side. So my mom was undergoing chemotherapy. I'm in Gauteng. My mom is in the Free State. So she's going every 2 weeks. I have a job and some other several things that I'm doing. Every 2 weeks, I have to go home.
Yes.
No cousin, no, whoever would say, no, can we come and help you? Vanille, that year was one of the hardest years of my life. Because I asked my
remember,
mother,
Sissy. I remember.
You were there helping people. Whoever is getting married, you guys are going there. Whoever is, But with one small thing, I have to, I even had to force myself, either, cut out some of my commitments just to travel home. And then it brought all those traumas, where are the people actually when you need them? Because this woman, you might not even be doing it for me, but because I knew what my mom did for family. But she was all alone. She was all alone with her younger sister. And I was like, life is damned. Eh? So, So those
that happens a lot. Actually, I've heard so many people say that. I've seen it so often with my mom, with my uncle. I saw it and it just broke my heart, It happens a lot,
It does.
And it often happens to the people who are giving totally and completely from empty cups, like that. They've given and given until there is nothing. So this is why this is why the work we do in the Money Magic course is also about, please put yourself first. Put yourself first.
True.
And also just also look after yourself financially. And also the other thing I will say about life that I have found is that I may give to one person and never get from that person. But sometimes life is kind and the universe is generous. And what I need comes from other people. So I've always said that I live on the kindness of strangers. I'm in a country right now where I have no family, right? I don't know a single person. I didn't know a single person before I came here in 2017. However, I've been here throughout COVID. I've lacked for nothing. I've wanted for nothing. I've been fully, fully covered. Like I've been adopted by a woman who met me in 2017 and for years has just always treated me as her daughter. I've moved apartments, my clothes, my cases, everything is still at her house. It is always home. I leave a lot of my stuff there. When I'm traveling, I'll be gone for months. I'll be in South Africa and I'll just go with a little suitcase. My stuff is still there, right? Through my life as well, right? That has happened for me in Thailand. It's happened for me in Boston when I was living in the US. Last week, I interviewed on the Money Magic series, Lori. Lori has been one of my dear friends. And when I was struggling with depression and super suicidal, she was there every step of the way. She would come visit me every week. She would come with groceries. She would come with vegetables from her garden. I was never left stranded. So there's also that, right? And the way that I look at it as you share the story, your mother had you, right? It may not be the hundreds of people that she helped, but she had you, and money showed up for you regardless to be able to keep going home every 2 weeks. You didn't struggle, you didn't do any of that. So sometimes grace shows up in many forms.
True, true.
Right? So I've learned that. And I live in India. And I'm just like, I don't know where home is. My phone has died. All I know is the color of the house. I don't know the street names. I just know by default. I've had people walk with me, get on bikes with me, looking for where I'm supposed to go, where I live. You know, that has always been my life in almost every country. I've learned that I am not alone.
You're not alone. It's true.
I am not alone. So even if it's just one person, I have never touched wood through the grace of God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, ever slept on the street, ever felt like, oh my God, all is lost. So your mother in her giving, sometimes it came through you.
You're right.
Sorry.
You're right, because even the other day I was talking to my aunt and my mentor. I've got a woman who's mentoring me. And then I was saying, you know, for the past 2019 and 2018, I used to go home and I would fly home literally every 2 weeks. And you know, if you're now, my mom was on medical aid, but it was not comprehensive. So we still had to supplement. But we never lacked. I'll always have money. So I was even asking this woman, so where's that money? Because I'm no longer going home. I should be having, you know, money, like flight to Bloemfontein, a return ticket is like 3,000. It means 6,000 a month plus whatever amount of money I will. Where's that money now? Because those things are no longer there. So when money showed up, it really did. It really did. Up until the end, I wouldn't lie. My God was just, you know, taking care. I was never depressed. I was never heartbroken. I was just okay. But only like just when we laid him to rest, all these things just came back. Like I remember
it is traumatic.
But you know, for 18 months we went through it. There was never a time where I could have sleepless nights. Like, where will we get the money for A, B, and C? Chemo is very expensive, painkillers and all those things. But up until her last breath, she had everything. So I am still in awe of the universe. I'm still in awe of what God did for us. So
Wow. I am in awe as well. I am in awe as well. So what I want to say for people who are the extreme givers, right, is that we can always ask the divine, right? We can always just have faith. And sometimes you may have helped hundreds and thousands, and then at the end it's only like 2 or 3 that are there, and that's enough.
I was not
That
looking
is
at it that
okay.
way, and I think now it makes sense. I was thinking about the numbers, but like you
Yeah,
were saying, even through me, there's also another guy. He's not related to us. That guy was there for my mom,
yeah.
day in and day out. One person
Wow,
and my aunt,
wow.
and
Yeah,
then I was very angry, like, but where are these multitudes of people? But now that you are
yeah,
explaining it, she only needed the 3 of us or the 4 of us, and
yeah,
everything was covered. So
yeah,
kindness somehow of people who never even benefited from her
yeah,
generosity, was there.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
thankful. Now I'm seeing it, in that
yeah.
light.
Like,
Like I was
yeah, because
looking for
I think
help
about
as
it.
well.
Yeah, I think about it too with my mother, right? I spoke about how we had no food, no anything. My mother's uh, greatest ask from the universe was always that we get the best education possible. We went to some of the most expensive schools when my mother didn't even have money to buy bread. My dad, my uncle, they stepped in. So her intention that she asked for, always above all else, was fulfilled. We got to university. She had no money. I remember one day I had to pay rent. It's one of the memories that comes up as one of my deep money traumas. I had to pay rent at UCT because I wasn't living on campus. And it was just when I did the math, it was easier to stay off campus. And so I went off campus and I needed 800 Rand for rent. I was working my way through UCT and had 3 jobs. And I was short of maybe like 400 Rand. And I called home and my mother had to go around. She was selling Izimbiza, like herbs, for 10 Rand, which is
Okay.
less than $1. And she was going around. And guys, my mom is a qualified nurse, right? She eventually went back to work. But life is such that things happen and you don't always, you lose your career path, you lose things happen. So then she had to go around to so many people collecting these 10 rands. And I remember being so stressed because the landlord wanted the money like now, you know? So like we
Wow.
needed to pay the rent. So for 400 Rand, I was like in the midst of stress and we didn't know where it was going to
Mm.
come from. But my whole point is, yeah, things, but the point is like her greatest intention and her greatest wish for us, somehow the universe took care of it. Like, I mean, we got that education, we got educated in the way that she'd always dreamt. She just didn't have the money for that. Because, the way that I see it is that through her giving, it came back. Like her greatest intention, the universe gave it to her, but not in the way that she thought. Like my father stepped up, my uncle came to the party. So there were people that stepped up and said, we're going to help with this.
Wow.
So sometimes it's not, we don't receive in the ways that we
That we
think. And
give or
I've had
that
a
we
lot of time to
expect.
think about this. Yeah. I reflect on this a lot, right? Because of the work that I do in Wealthy Money. And when I hear people's stories, it's often that, but it doesn't make the trauma any less painful. For my mom, because she doesn't do this work, it is very intensely painful. That realization still hurts her to her core, right? So it's still very painful.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Maybe now I'll be able to understand it a little bit better because I have been holding on to the fact that where were these people? And it's a
Yeah,
conversation that I have even with like cousins, my very close cousins, to say, hey,
yeah,
you know what? You'd have people around your mother, but they never showed up. But I've never thought about the people who were actually there. I thought
yeah,
about the people that somehow I thought they owe
yeah,
her to show their kindness.
yeah.
Like you've been kind to us, now it's time. And like you are saying, life doesn't work like that. Life has got its
No,
own rules. It has its own
it
rules.
has its own rules. And here's the truth is that oftentimes it's the people it may be people that we never ever thought of that will come to save us or to help us. It may be the complete opposite of the people that we had in mind. Life showed me that at a very, very early age, that sometimes it may be just the stranger that you met a month ago who now becomes family for the rest of your life. You know, I've seen this guy, like, I feel like if there's one thing travel has taught me, it is that. Like, I have met people who are strangers, because when you are in a strange land, you fall sick, there's no one there for you. It doesn't mean that I'm alone. Like, I've seen it. Like, I remember I was like 3-4 months in South Korea, did not speak South Korean. I got a crazy cold. I got a fever, and I met this woman, the South Korean woman, on the road. We had just talked and we'd sent text messages. She's now really a very close friend of mine. Her name is Crystal. I'll have to send her this video. And like literally a few weeks after we met, she's like, where are you? Would you like to go out to lunch? And I'd just been sick 2 days. I said, no, I'm sick. Did this woman not go order soup? Make it her mission to always be there to make sure that I was well. Then she became family. Like, I met her on this little town that I was living in. We swapped numbers, and she's like, yeah, maybe we'll get some lunch once. Like, maybe we'll have some time. And then she called me on the day when I was so sick, I couldn't even make myself food. And she brought food, she brought everything. And like throughout my entire illness, she was there, you know? It was insane. This was a stranger, but that's what I needed at the time. She came and she helped me through that. Like, I didn't have family there. I had just moved here. I didn't have friends. I didn't have time to make friends. I was still, you know, finding my feet, but here it is. The universe sent someone, and it could not, it was just the most random thing. I have so many crazy stories like that. So many. And travel has shown me that. So
we need
such a thing as grace.
We need a book on your life experiences. Please. Because I normally listen to you, and there's so much that, you know, I'm hoping you are writing this thing somewhere.
One day I will share, but I think for me, it's just become so much a part of my life that what it's taught me is to, I think one of the things I had to learn in this lifetime was how to let go and forgive. And when I have experiences like this, it shows me that there is grace, that I am looked after, that I am housed, and to have faith, you know? So, you know, I'm not Christian or anything, but like what it is, like my belief is that there's something so much bigger than us. So I have that faith that even in my worst times, that, oh, if there's no one here, that means that I'm okay. I can go through this on my own. That's why there's no one here. Because the times when I have truly needed someone has always been there, from strangers. Like literally my whole life is like this, you know, like I've been lost in Vietnam. I remember one day just like sitting on the train had left. I didn't know how to get there. A random guy came and said, hey, you sound like you're lost in Vietnam. I shared this on Instagram. I shared it as it was happening. In way. And the guy said, hey, you're looking lost here. Where do you want to go? I was like, I've actually just booked an Airbnb in Hoi An. I'm heading back to Hoi An, but there's no more trains to Hoi An, and the place that I've booked is fully booked, and I've already paid for the Airbnb. And they're telling me that it may be like a day or two before I can get a train ticket. And he's like, oh, I just so happen to be heading to Hoi An.
What?
Do you wanna come along? I was like, took my bags and was like, there we go. That took all of an hour to sort itself out. And I got to Hoi An, to my Airbnb on time, got myself sorted, life. Like, true story. And the crazy thing, guys, if you go on Instagram and you look at this, you will find it there. I was detailing the story as it's happening.
As it's happening. Wow.
Because I was just like, it happens all the time. Clearly, I was supposed to go to Hoi An according to the universe. My time in Hue was done. I had gone to Hue for business purposes. It was done. I was now heading to Hoi An to finalize some business stuff.
And it happened.
It happened. And it took an hour. I didn't cry, I didn't scream. I literally just sat. I just sat at the train station. I don't even know why. I was just like, oh, well, let me think. Something will happen. And that's how I've always lived.
It happened, yes.
Yeah, I was just like, something will happen in the process.
I will be stressing. I will be stressing.
Vietnam is not my home, right? So what else was I supposed to do? It's not like South Africa where I can call people. So even if I had to call my friends who are in Thailand or Sri Lanka,
I have cried, sitting there and crying. Like, why are you crying, sister? Like, I don't know what to do. I have to be somewhere, like, you know. But I think it also takes time and experiences to just know that life sorts itself out. I think we're used to planning and to thinking and to strategizing and, you know.
Allow space for magic, right? That's what I keep saying. Allow the space for magic.
I have to do things like this, and that's why every time when you talk about how we want to be perfect, before and I want to moot you like when you know, oh, please just keep quiet, because it's like now you're pointing at me, vow of perfection.
Which brings me to my next question. Which are the 3 lessons that have been like wow for you, that have changed so much for you in the course?
Why 3 though?
You can say more. You can talk about more.
Let's see. This one is not a lesson. Like the bank account challenge, I think it gives you, like, honestly, whoever I come across, I always encourage them and I keep track who joins. Like, okay, you say wealthy money in Tonton is expensive, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling them I was lucky when I was doing the bank account challenge. Remember, it was free.
It used to be free.
Some of us, the universe really, really blessed us. So even that, the friend I was talking about earlier, I was telling him about it. Like, if we had this conversation a week ago, you would have spent this little money, and you'd be so curious to go to the bigger one. So bank account challenge at all costs. It's something that really turned my whole life. You don't know what it did to me. Hence now, I'm aware. Whenever everything is happening, I listen to my breath work. Like, what does this tell me? And then the body sensation. And if you were to tell me before 2017 that the body tells you when you are going through something, I would have said, there's nothing like that. That's why. And I always find myself, and I always find myself doing lesson 0. Connecting with the divine in money meditation. My spirit of money takes many forms all the time, and it always links me to my paternal side of the family.
Wow.
I'm not sure, there's something to me with me about lesson 0 and lesson 7. And I was even laughing that now we have 22 lessons. Where have I been? Because with me, I don't do things 1, 2, 3. Like, somehow my spirit tells me, like, I know the go-to meditation, the go-to lessons. So connecting with the divine in money meditation always works wonders for me. And
yeah.
now I've joined in the releasing money and anxiety meditation. I think people think I'm crazy. Discriminate. The best thing, I always think like, are my neighbors hearing me? I don't think so. And ever since now, I've become aware of, like I told you, sometimes I think I've taken up after my dad, but
Yeah.
also certain family members. I think my mother was one of the calm, and if I were to define somebody who knew when to say no, she was not stingy, she was not over generous. I always think I wish I'd just taken an ounce of her, but I haven't. But
Yeah.
I don't know how she managed to divorce herself from how she was raised up. So now I find myself, ever since she passed on, I go into lesson 8, healing the inner teen and inner child. Like you've seen, I was telling you when we were growing up, my dad used to do this. And then there are a number of things that will seldom come up. So I navigate lesson 7, lesson 8, lesson 0, bank account challenge. I'm one of these people. I write money letters. I don't know how many I have. So when I die, people are just going to laugh. I do. And I was telling her, like, I'm not good with being consistent like other people.
Yeah.
But don't fault me on writing my money letters. Even yesterday, as I woke up, because we had this award thing when we were presenting.
Yeah.
In the morning, 3 a.m., I had my white candle, I prayed, and then I went back and I'm like, hey, we have an appointment today at 12 for me to pick up. Like I write my
So actually, have you gotten the news about the award yet?
Thursday.
Okay.
I come back, I report. I'm not scared about it. That is my money, Bangile. Please leave my money alone. It's my money. And you know, the alternate, and that's how money has shown up in my life. The alternate is that if it happens that it doesn't come to me, give me two weeks, I'll double that money. Somehow, I don't know. That's how my life has always been. Like, and hence I'm saying too, there's magic in how, and I remember I told you a long time ago, I think it was in 2018, that when I was doing the work and I was honest, you see the other thing, sometimes you don't get honest, and I was honest with myself, and I will just break down and cry, and I will state and I do the work. Not, you know, sometimes you browse through it and I sit down and do the work. Money will just show up. Like I was even saying, I'm a magnet, and I was listening to you the other day talking about renovating your mother's house and so forth. I did the same. I managed to renovate my mom's house inside, and I made sure that I gave her a shower, a new shower, bathroom. And in addition to that, I also built like another house on the side in the same yard. For whatever reasons, I just said, I'm going back. And I didn't use any loan money. I was just financing it. As my mom was going through chemo, I managed to do that. There'll be a time when I was angry because I had to go home and there was a project, maybe of 10,000 that I have to do. And I'm like, yeah, you see, now I have to go home and 10,000 rand. I'm not going to get it. I just go home and like my mom comes first. Because my mom she was my best friend. Like, I don't know whether when you have lost a mother who was supportive all the way, whether you heal. But it's not like I'm broken, but you know, the thoughts. And then I go home, take care of her, come back. The 30,000 will come up, saying 10,000 times 3. I don't know how it works. I wish I had a formula to it. But I'm saying if I'm not getting my money on Thursday, it's not a transfer. Something somewhere, it's cooking. And because I've also started doing the work as well. And then, thanks to Pearl, you don't know how Pearl pushed me. Like every time I see her calling me, I'm like, can you stop calling me? Like I'm not saying in class, like, dude. I told her I'm running away from Vangelis because the last time when we were doing, was it the income challenge? When the first time we do the EFT tapping, I was sick for days. I was so sick for days. And I'm like, what is this thing? Like what's happening? This cleanse, why? Because I think initially, when you start, you just do something. Subconsciously so.
Yeah, and I think a lot of students are like, it's Vangile, man, like she's always weird. Like now she's brought something out, let's go. And then afterwards they're like, no, this is the one that's gonna kill us. Every time they think this is the one that's gonna kill them.
There's something, as we were starting and then we're talking, I'm like, but why are we doing this thing? The resistance of new things. EFT, we know EFT to be in the banking language, man. What is this thing? But I was busy doing it. Just the last 10 minutes. Me, after that, I just slept like on my bed, flat with my stomach. I was like, what is happening? Like, so, these things, they happen, man. And
but did you not create a new stream of income during that income challenge?
I did.
Did money not show up for you? Was it not worth it?
And I'm telling you, even with this interview, I'm thinking, Vangile is a magic. Like, you take me to places I never want to go. And I was trying to explain, like, you don't understand. Sometimes I stay away from the course because, for instance, for the first time today, I spoke about how disappointed I was in how people treated my mother. But it's something that I spoke to my sister and my aunt. And when everybody else comes up, I'm just okay. It's like, it's not a big thing, but it has always been a big thing. So you have that thing like of taking out the pain, the trauma. Now, so I would say to other people, like, I don't want to do Ben's work. I don't want to talk to Vangile. And every time I do that, I know after this session, I'm going to cry for whatever reason.
Sending lots of love.
And after crying, I know I'm going to write something here. And after doing that, I'm doing my meditation. And lo and behold, sometimes these things doesn't come in the form of money, but they come in a form of gifting. I was telling my sister that Saturday, a friend of mine, he's been a friend for 12 years. And when you're supporting somebody and you are not aware that you are supporting them, he was going through some stuff at work long time ago. So, we will talk, and then he also got like a big deal and chunk of money. And then he called me and like, Chomi, I'm going to send you 10,000 rand in 2 installments of 5,000. And I'm like, when I don't trust you. And it's like on Monday, that was Saturday, né? He said on Monday, I'm like, even 2 years ago, you promised me 1,000 rand. It's like, that's why now it's 10,000 rand. Sunday, I'm minding my own business. I'm cleaning. Ting, 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 ting. 5,000 rand. SMS says, show me, I've done half of the money. The other half I'll transfer tomorrow. Just out of nowhere. We haven't spoken maybe for like 6 months. I was like, Evan, so now I have 10,000 that I didn't. So there's some gifting that happens.
Sure. And money loves you, sis. Like, we can't argue with this one.
And opportunities, I might open my email, maybe they've advertised for something. You will never know, but not that we don't go through struggles, we go through the struggle, but I've now seen that actually there's a relationship between, an emotional connection between us and money. when you treat money like a dear friend, you become content, you become okay. If it doesn't come, it's okay, it doesn't come. But you're not licking, you're okay. When you see Vangile making it, you don't get bitter, you don't get angry. You get inspired. So, but those
and in fact, that bitterness, the anger, the envy, the jealousy, those are triggers. That's where you should be like, I have more healing to do around the money. And why, that's like signs that there's work to be done.
True.
So, yeah.
True. So, like, honestly speaking, the work is doing, now, maybe I would say, for those who are willing to do the course, you don't come with a purpose of, attracting money. You come just to work on your budget and, but I don't know how we were living before 26. I'm still trying to get my sister to do the work because she doesn't understand it. She thinks I'm telling stories. She thinks I'm telling stories. So I was saying, no.
I remember when you told me the very first inbox Mmatsie sent me out of the blue after the Apartheid Museum. She just said, Sissy, if people had been telling me these stories, that the things that are happening in my life right now, I would have said, no, they're just lying. I would have just said they're making things up.
It sounds like that. And if you remember, just out of nowhere, back then, I don't know what it might have happened, even if I didn't meet you, I don't know, but I'm linking it with that occasion. Somebody comes up and say, we've got a group of diplomats who are coming, they need to be trained on this, and you are the go-to person. A person who was referred by another person. And then I'm like, no, but I'm too little to be training diplomats. And then they asked me how much I want. Me, I said 15,000 rand for 2 days. It was okay because it was not even the whole day. And then we spoke. If you remember very well, we spoke.
Yes,
and I'm like,
I remember that.
Maybe because I'm meeting the big boss, because now we had to meet and talk about the program. And then I just said, I'm just gonna ask for 25,000 rand just to see what will happen. And we meet, we talk, and then I say, hey, I thought the 15,000, but when I'm checking this, the amount of work that I have to put in, I'll have to increase my fee to 25,000. It's like, no problem. It's okay. Like, no resistance, no negotiations. And then we're thinking, maybe I should even have said foot. I'm like, is it because of the work or, but I know if I haven't done the work, and I think I was even combining it with what Lebo used to teach, to say you must ask for what you believe you are worth. You shouldn't just be doing things because there's 2 rand coming in. If you believe your work is 10 rand, those who know your work's value is 10 rand. They will show up. But those who want to negotiate, move on. Like, that's now how I approach life. I tell you, 50,000, you say I don't have it, and I'm like, cool. When you have it, we'll talk, or you can go. Like, it's like when we're shopping. I decide today I go to ShopRite because I can't afford a particular brand. It's one and the same thing. And that's how seriously now I've taken myself. I've said no to some projects unless they speak to my heart. If they speak to my heart and there's no money, I'll even volunteer to do them. But otherwise, if it's a business kind of thing, I'm able to say, my asking price, if you're telling me about Vangile is cheaper, go to Vangile. I can't do it. And this is as a result of what I've learned. Like, know your worth. Just know your worth. And that's it. It's as simple as that.
Yes. I think also as we do the work, what happens is we start to change our not enough stories, our not good enough stories. So how we show up in spaces starts to shift. Like, you were talking about the perfectionism that I keep triggering everyone in the student group, guys, because I've been on this tip about the vow perfection where I'm like, show, like Matthias, like, I don't even want to hear this, you know? It's like, I'm like, show up as you are. As you are, as she, hair unmade, just put your price there and just go for it. As you are. Like, no, like they tell you, you believe you need to do ABCD, as you are, show up, ask for what you want. There is no extra to do. You are enough as you are. And once you grasp that, I think for most of us, once we grasp that there is no, like, if I say I want X amount a month, I want X amount a month. And I think I've taught you guys through Jane's story, right? Where everybody is like, Jane needs or
Jane.
has to make this chili. Jane must first for her to earn a minimum, like a salary at the level of a graduate, she needs to go get a degree. A degree for what? I was like, no, she wants this money now. She should be able to get this money now as she is. She doesn't need to go get a degree. Her soul wants this money now. That's why she's asking for it. And it's happening.
It's
right?
happening. Jane is doing the things. Yo, I wish I
She's doing
were.
the thing.
She's doing the things that we are scared of doing with our
Yes.
degrees and our honors and our masters. And that's why, hey, the vow of perfection, vanilla, I need to get that thing right. Like, you are stressing me. There are so many things in the pipeline. Even when people ask, I'm like, no, I'm still setting up. And and
No.
one thing that I'm even struggling with as well is I always tell people, like, sometimes you are saying these things because you are my friends. If you were to be honest, I'm not that good. And there's a bit of that. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's not everything is perfect when we are imperfect human beings. There are some areas where I try to be as invisible. You see, just today I was talking to you about what I'm doing, but I really don't talk about what I'm doing. Exactly. I don't talk about the boards that I sit in. And even my mentor, when I was telling my mentor, like, I don't think, I'm good enough to be. And I think that's when they advertised the deputy public protector. And my mentor is like, why are you not applying? Like, no, I'm not on that level.
Sure.
And it's like, Mmatsie, do you know how I envy you when you make contributions in our meeting or when you critique my work? And I'm like, you're saying this because you're a nice person. So there's some areas that I really need to work hard on. That I really need to work hard on and to believe when people tell me that I'm good. Even yesterday after our presentation, I was nervous. And my mom taught me that the day I stop being nervous, I should be very worried. But I'm going for an interview, it's like the day you stop being nervous, get out of that job, it means you're no longer respecting it. So at 1 a.m., I write to my teammate and I'm like, I can't sleep, I'm nervous. It's like, Mmatsie, the presentation is good, please don't change it. And then I presented, and then after that, my WhatsApp came, my colleagues were like, yo, Mmatsie, you are multi-talented. Your presentation, and I was struggling, like, maybe I just be nice. They said, like, I received 17 WhatsApp in a space of 30 minutes.
Wow.
From my colleagues telling me, like, no, please send us the presentation. We want to see your guide. We want to see this. And I'm like, yes, there are other people. And they were telling me, you don't know how good. And I actually, like, saved those messages and I send them to my sister to, like, this is what people are saying. But some, I don't know why I always do that to myself then. Some I believe, like, because, we are all in the same space, we're friends. They just needed to say it. But people are kind outside, and people, like you are always saying, your tribe, people are supporting. And I think if I made mistakes, people would have said, no, correct this. But somehow, like, because I also like playing, I'll sit in the corner. Please don't disturb me and be as invisible as I can.
Yeah. Because it's safe, right? Invisibility is safe. So on the lessons that you love, move on to lesson 19. Not good enough and vows of invisibility. It's time.
That's
and
what I'm
on
saying.
there is a breath work meditation just for the vows of invisibility. It's a huge part of us. And a lot of the not good enough, especially for women and in particular Black women, it's ancestral that we carry, right? So it's been embedded into us from women way before us, like centuries and centuries ago, and then it just gets passed on. So it's like, you know how whenever I'm on Facebook and I'm always going on about the patriarchy, and like I'm always like, if there's one thing men have, it's the audacity, the liver, the audacity. But we hold ourselves back. You'll be like, oh my God, but where does patriarchy get this audacity when women are so brilliant, so many incredible women, and most of us will be like, no, but I don't measure up for that post. But someone will have like sometimes we look at patriarchy and we're like, oh, but this guy only has maybe 1 or 2 qualifications. I've got 9 for that post, 9 out of 10. But we'll look and say that 1 disqualifies me. They'll look and say that 2 qualifies me. And that mindset is what makes a difference. So it's about healing that we've carried through the ancestral lineage and collectively as women in particular. Not to say that men don't have a deep, not good enough story. It is there, especially for Black men, because they've also experienced deep oppression, right? But patriarchy, they've got like the one thing that also saves them is patriarchy. Well, it doesn't save them, but like there is that male ego, which is a real thing, which also helps a little in this process. So sometimes we want to say it's just the system and it's just patriarchy as to why men out-earn women. But actually, when they looked at the stats, and sometimes when they started doing more of the research, they found that we disqualify ourselves from opportunities. And also when they were asking us for salaries, women took the first salary that was being offered. And we always chose, when they asked us what our salary was, we often, or whenever they ask us still till this day, what our salary is, we often ask for the lowest.
The lowest.
Even like, so even if you have a PhD, we'll tend to ask for entry level. Whereas what they found with men, a man can be at an entry level and just be like asking for a master's level and just be like, I'm there.
I see what to do. Yeah, true.
So it's also just healing that.
I should, because it's been bothering me a lot. It's been bothering me,
Yeah. And it holds us back, actually, because there are times when we would be offered those positions and offered those salaries, but then we don't ask for them and we don't negotiate and we don't go for those opportunities. Myself included, by the way. Like, I see it within me as well. That's why I'm so well versed with it. So, yeah. So, Mmatsie, my last question to you is, what would you say to people who are thinking, well, I'm watching these videos, these Money Magic series videos, I'm reading Vanille's posts on Facebook, I'm reading the blog posts, I'm reading the emails, I'm healing. That is the healing work. What would you say to them?
You said to me, I think we're off air, and that the work that you are currently doing, they say it's superficial. I would say to them, they're just scratching, they're not even scratching the surface, man. I don't know. I don't think, I always, like, I follow you even on, like, your general Facebook page, and I know you overshare. And sometimes, like, but why? People should just go there, and it's not even 5% of the real work, number one.
Yeah.
So I would say to them, we haven't done anything just a tiny piece of work. Come to the site for a number of reasons. Like when I joined, I think we had 10 or 12 lessons. 10.
Yeah.
Yes, and then I figured 10. Like this thing in a month, I'll be done. I haven't even done 40% of the course. Like I told you, I moved in between lessons.
Yeah.
There are lessons that I haven't opened. First of all, the benefit. It looks expensive, I think. If you don't know that it's for a lifetime, I would say come.
Yeah.
You see, now we're talking about a vow of perfection, vow of betrayal, all those things, and the meditations, a number of them. I think you have shared a few of them, but there are a number of them. But I think the benefit of being in this course, and I'm not saying this because I like you so much, I like you, but it's because, look, I joined 2017. 3 years later, I haven't even finished the course. So if you were saying, come for here and go out, I would have finished and forgotten about everything. And then the work keeps on growing. So I would say to them, if you believe you are healing, you have only healed 5% of the 100% of trauma and of many injustices and of just come and see the real thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, but and like I said to you many years ago, and I've said it to a number of people who joined, and I use Pearl because we speak a lot with Pearl, and he was asking me, and I'm like, I don't even know how to explain it. First of all, like I was saying to you, it's witchcraft. I don't know if I was not doing the course, certain things I'll be aware of. Like I'm at a point where I'm aware I will not get this because I'm not even doing the work. I wouldn't even bother. But I know, and you always, even in your video, you say you are also a student in it. You also go through the same. It's not like we have found a solution to all the problems. I was listening to you, I think it was two days ago. And then I was saying, guys, I fell apart. This trauma. And I'm thinking, but you're teaching us to heal the trauma. How? And then I understand because it's constant work. So I'm saying if you are just benefiting, it's a good thing to make you curious, but your course is a magic course. Like, I didn't like the word magic. I didn't like the fact
I
that
also don't really like it. And we all agree that actually it's the healing, but we call it magic because it's better than saying to people, you're coming to heal some deep stuff, hey?
No, remember I come from a Christian background. And then I'm here to learn about money and budgeting. And when I know you're telling me about trauma, meditation, like, when are we getting to the real stuff? So it's a magic in a sense that we haven't mastered the emotional connection we have with money. We haven't mastered the traumas of the past of our ancestors. Because even like I'm saying, I was brought up in a very religious family, and then I hear you ancestral what? I'm thinking, hey, I don't know, I'm fitting. And then, no, guys, let's do meditation. And I'm waiting, expenses, profits. I want to see those things. And then I realized those things are softer things. In fact, if you don't heal, you wouldn't understand. That's why I'm saying sometimes when I say to people, money is my friend. And, we used to be, I was listening to you as well. We were talking about Akulalek, how we don't sleep because we have money.
Yes.
And I'm like, money is the root of all evil. We're scared to talk about money. If you come to wealth, and this is also where you find comfort. I don't post as much as I should.
Yes.
But I follow other people's work, and I will just sit there like, people are supportive outside. People can share ideas. People can tell you, no, don't do this, do this. I've experienced, like, it's, I'm not sure how to explain. It's a safe space to be.
Yeah.
It's a space
Yeah.
for growing. It's a space
Yeah.
for understanding different traumas. We might be thinking, you know how we always say, hey, can I bet luck? And now it's can I bet luck?
Yeah.
Like that's how we speak. Can I bet
Yeah.
luck? Or jealous? And then you're thinking like there are certain things that we have to hear. A whole lot of them. And the fact that the course allows you not to finish, to go back and forth when you think we're finished, and then now there'll be supplementary income challenge. And I'm thinking, now we have income challenge. Like there's so much to do.
Yeah.
So guys, come home. They should come home, and I'll do with them the vow of perfection.
Yeah.
They join me with that. That's where they will start. So
that's
it's
where we
nice.
will all just part.
So on the general Facebook page or on your video, it's a good start. But I think it ignites a whole lot of interest for you to want to be in. So come home.
Yeah. No, it really is intense. Like even with this current bank account challenge, I was like, oh, my own work is defeating me, which often happens, right? Where like, I'll be like, I'm going to start a challenge. And then halfway through, guys, I'll be like, nope, this has traumatized me. We need a few more days. I'm done. Like, I need a break.
I ran away. I ran away and Pearl was calling me, Ceci, join. I'm like, I have a meeting. So I'm like, I'm not coming. I need a break.
A darling, hey, she shows up. She shows up. And it's hard, but she shows up.
That's amazing. Does. I always say, just give me 10% of your dedication. No, I was telling her, like, Pearl, you want to see me broken. I was there on Thursday. And then you said, if you think Thursday was hard, Friday was worse. And I'm like, I'm glad I was not there. I'll watch the videos. I'll finish. Don't worry. I'll finish. But it's a very interesting space. My God should just bless you then. Don't get tired. Don't get tired. Don't be impatient with me. I'm back.
No, I never get impatient because I know this work. And like I said, I am a student of the work. I go through my own, like, guys, now I'm just focused on pleasure and traveling. You'll just have to hear my insights as they come. I am not doing the course right now because I know what that feels like. And we do need those breaks. We do need downtime. But I wanted to say, guys, what Mmatsie was referring to about the superficial work is my astrologer recently looked through my chart. I was telling her, she was like, you're living your best life. And I was like, no, according to the astrology chart, I'm only now starting to live my best life. The times before then, when I was traveling and doing things, the last few years, guys, you must know, according to my astrology chart, I've been going through things. I've been coaching. I've been in struggle mode. So I'm telling Mmatsie that actually, the astrologer said, wait up until June and see what happens to your business. June 2020. You'll understand that you've been in struggle mode. So I've been like, no, Shane, this guy was on point. But then he also said to me, oh, you think you're doing healing work now. It's sweet, but actually your best work is about to come when you turn 48. People are going to start being very scared of you from the time you're 48 up until you're dead. That's when you start really showing what healing is. Right now, you're doing healing work. It's cool. Keep doing it, but it's superficial compared to what you'll do once you start getting to 48 and as you hit the later years. So apparently, what we're going through in the Money Magic course is, according to my chart, superficial. Doesn't feel superficial to me.
It doesn't.
Doesn't feel superficial to the Money Magic students, but apparently when I hit 48, guys, the best of my healing will start coming out. And in later years, that's when I'll really, really such shifting humans and helping people really break through. I'm like, this is gonna be interesting. So we'll see. But Matthew, this was so much fun. I feel like we went so deep and I feel like we healed so many people from this interview. And how do people get hold of you? People that want to talk about the course, want to talk about the work that you do, how do they get hold of you?
My name is Mmatsie, and you write Mmatsie with double M, double Mmatsie. So on Facebook, I'm Mmatsie Mooki. On Twitter, I'm not big on social media though. On Twitter, I'm Mmatsie_Mooki. Mooki is Mooki. And then on Insta, I'm at Mmatsie Mooki. And then my email is Mmatsie with double M, 1972 @gmail.com. And we can talk. Then if they scared of asking, if they're scared of asking you about the work, they can private me, DM, I tell them. If they want to ask about my work, I'm here. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I'm here to serve. Same. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been amazing. It's been incredible. Thank you, Mmatsie, for showing up and for just your vulnerability and honesty. I feel like what keeps amazing me about these interviews is how vulnerable and how honest everyone is willing to be. So this has been incredible. And guys, if you're listening to this, it's resonating with you. You're like, I want to be part of the Wealthy Money Magic course. I want to be part of the bank account challenge. Hit me up, DM me, or get on the waiting list, or register for the Money Magic course over at wealthy-money.com/money magic. Again, wealthy-money.com/money magic. Thank you, Mmatsie, once more, and thank you, Money Magician.
Thank you, Ben. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, guys.